Remember, your intuition is coming from here, so it's how you're feeling. Yes, your ideas will come from here, but a lot of your magic as well comes from your intuition. If you don't understand who you are as a person, then you're going to build your business on sand, and ultimately, it's only going to be successful for so long. People always think, oh, you should make decisions based on your mind, but remember, your mind only knows what it knows. It can't predict what it doesn't know. A lot of religions name their source different things, but I think ultimately it is all the same. What I often find with the angel card readings is people have a question. They already know the answer. They just want the confirmation.
Okay, everyone listening to this show, I am about to get analysed, okay? I have brought someone on the show that is about to go deep into my soul and go back looking through my numbers and my purpose and what I stand for. Like, I am being the guinea pig for you because I have seen this woman on social media, and I'm like, what does she do? How what does it mean? And is this the only way I can explain it, right? If you're in business and you're like, I am feeling misaligned, I don't get why I do what I do, I struggle to make decisions, and I struggle to find my purpose. I feel like I'm just going through the motions, a slog, 9 to 5, or my business feels like a 9 to 5. I don't feel aligned with my future, my purpose. And you get a bit lost, right? We all find ourselves in this situation where we start with motivation and excitement, and then it dwindles away. And what happens when all that excitement disappears? Because motivation is like fire, right? It fizzles out, it burns out. How do you maintain that fire inside of you? How do you keep your purpose going? But also, how do you understand yourself deeply enough so that you know how to make strategic business decisions, or how to make personal decisions in your life that feel intuitively right? Sometimes some people describe that as their gut feeling, and other times people just are completely misaligned and just not, they don't know why it feels off. Like when you feel off, you're like, I don't get it. So in business, we can't afford to feel off. Like, we've got to run a company, we've got to run a business, we've got to offer and serve our clients. And if we're feeling off, our services will be off, our time will be off, everything will be off. And then you'll just get to the end of the month and you'll wonder why you're not feeling satisfied, or you're wondering why you're not feeling fulfilled. So how can we help you feel fulfilled in a thriving, whether you're employed, by the way, or you run a business? This totally applies. And so what I've brought for you today on the show, I've been stalking this fabulous lady on social media. We've met once or twice at an event, but not really had the time to bond. So I'm really getting to know her for the first time on the show, as this often happens. But I've put myself to the test, and I've put myself on the at the forefront for you, so that you can see her beautiful work through me live on this show. So if you don't follow her already, her name is Emma Finn, and she is a human design coach, therapist. I'm not sure what the terminology is, but we're going to get to discover all that. So through her spiritual background and path of self-discovery, Emma found human design at a time of a big transition in her life. When we've got those pivotal moments in our lives that really just make us change the course of direction and the course of life. And so because she unlocked what her human design was, that helped her overcome imposter syndrome, how to navigate two businesses and move with purpose. So now she helps other people and other business owners and entrepreneurs understand their human design, and maybe angel cards as well, if that's available to you, if that's something that you're interested in, so that we can find clarity and direction. So here we go. Without further ado, I am super psyched to invite you on the show, Emma. How are you doing?
Hello. Oh, what an intro. I feel like I don't really need to say anything. I feel like you covered it all.
No, we need the hi. You need. Oh, good, good. Because I'm new to this. I'm new to this concept, and I'm just going to start off by saying, by the way, because I'm always just really transparent with everything that makes up like me as a person, and that is, I have stayed away, if I'm honest with you, from people like yourself, like angel readers, tarot readers, human design. You know why? Because I'm Catholic, and I was told, or, worshipping other gods or worshipping other, like, doing, it's not in our religion. Like, we shouldn't be using rose quartz stones, and I can see a little stone on your necklace there. So I have tried to stay true to myself by, and then this has been recently because I'd lost my faith, and that's where I was on my journey of being like, what's my purpose, and I've just tried to stay true to my upbringing, being, the Catholic religion. But it's always scared me to kind of venture into like the angel card reading and the tarot reading, because I feel like I'm playing with God, right? If I'm honest with you, and I didn't tell you this offline, so I'm throwing this at you. But yeah, I'm a bit scared to answer. I always answer because, obviously I love everyone who does a work of service to help, in any way. That's a tool, that however you want to help someone, that's your tools of how you use that. But that's been, when I am struggling, when I'm going through difficulty, I'm like, I'll turn to God. So yeah, how does that work in your world?
Oh, I'm so pleased that we're like getting deep here and getting right into this. This is awesome. So I actually am a Catholic as well. I have a Catholic background. Yeah. I went to a Catholic primary school, secondary school. I've been christened, confirmed, all the works, communion. My dad is Catholic, and his mum and dad are Catholic because we've got Irish Catholics in the family. So that's kind of my background. I have two actually kind of backgrounds. I have my dad's side are Irish Catholic, and then on my mum's side, my nan is again like super spiritual, but in a different way. The atheist, and then my granddad was from Pakistan, and he was a Muslim. So I have very different kind of approaches and family lineage. Now, in terms of your question, I I I am the same. I believe in God. I believe that there is a source. I think that a lot of religions name their source different things, but I think ultimately it is all the same.
Yeah.
And we are all guided by something that is bigger than ourselves, right? And in terms of kind of work with angel cards, I mean, in the Bible, it talks about like Mary was, spoke to Angel Gabriel, right? And was like, yeah, we're going to have a baby. So it all kind of fit in my eyes. It's like one big thing, just all fits together. But what's happened is in my opinion, people have institutionalized it. So as a way to divide people. So I feel like religion as a whole, as an institution, I don't necessarily go with. But in terms of faith, I believe in faith, and I believe in something beyond myself. And that's how I like to look at it. And I like to see things like using angel cards and human design as a way to help me to tap back into myself, and through that explore something bigger than myself.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you for that. And what is human design?
So, human design in a nutshell, what I love about it is it encompasses lots of different spiritual systems. So, a lot of people will know about, their zodiac sign, right? So, a lot of people know like whether they're Gemini, Pisces, whatever their sun. Do you know that, Rosalia?
Yeah, Aquarius.
Ah, love it. Aquarius is my moon sign. They're very like freedom thinkers, think outside the box. Um, we are in the age of Aquarius at the moment, so there's this, yeah. So your time to shine, girl. There's a lot of things collapsing, and we need Aquarian people, to kind of make sense of all of this. So yeah, people who are into astrology will know that about themselves. If they're super into astrology, they might know their moon and their rising sign as well. So that is encompassed in human design. Also, the chakra system as well. So people who might have had like some Reiki healing or done some somatic work, for example, they might be aware of the chakra points.
That again is encompassed in human design, and also the Chinese I Ching and the Tree of Life as well. So there's lots of it kind of takes lots of different spiritual tools and puts them together to make a map, which is basically your map of you, to help you, to guide you. And there is a little bit of science behind it. There is something called neutrinos, which are real things. You can look them up. They are particles that interact with mass and us all the time. And the idea is that 3 months before you were born, these neutrinos were knocking about in space, connecting with the sun and the planets, collecting information. And then at the time that you were born, they came down to that specific time, place, and date. And they brought that information with them. And that made your human design, your map to yourself.
Right. And this is why you were asking me about. So offline, guys, I had to give Emma my date of birth, location and everything. And so you would start with what are the basic, I've got the time of birth now. My mum is just sending you.
say
Yeah, I do. So she said somewhere between 10 and 11 p.m. at night.
you said evening, didn't you?
I did say evening. Yeah, I thought it was a little bit earlier.
Intuition.
My intuition, I did say I was born in the evening, but I was born as well. I will tell you, I was born with teeth. I had 2 teeth at the bottom. And so I was like a celebrity in the hospital because everyone in the hospital, patients, nurses, other departments, they all came to look at this baby that was born with teeth. So my mum was like, I'll never forget the time because it was late and I was just sat there and everyone was like, oh my God, we want to see her teeth. And I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. So,
You were, yeah, what? Just giving birth wants to like chill out and hold her baby.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. She was like, why? And I had a crowd. I think again, the planets, God, I feel like I already had a crowd, when I was first born, right? So, and now it's ironic that I'm on stage and I do podcasts and I'm, really like out there, and I'm not afraid to be looked at. Does that make sense? I feel like that's like my own.
It makes perfect sense when I looked at human design.
So, okay, let's get to the exciting stuff. So offline, Emma asked me, Emma? What do you need to discover your human design?
So, in order to know your human design, I need to know your date of birth, time of birth, and place of birth. Most people don't know their time of birth. So, it might be that they have to look on a birth certificate or check with a family member. Now, there is a way for, sometimes it doesn't necessarily matter on the time of birth. The energy type might come up the same and the way you make decisions, but it will matter for other things in your chart. So the more specific we can be about the time, the better reading and more accurate reading I can give you. But it really depends on how deep you want to go. Because the kind of basic fundamentals of human design are what we like to call the big 3, which is your energy type. So that tells you how you show up in the world, how you're meant to move. Your strategy, so how you're meant to kind of work with your energy, what works best. And then your authority, which is how you are meant to make your decisions. They're kind of the main 3. Now, for me, in terms of like, if we just put this in more of a practical sense, because I understand that not everyone will be kind of maybe as spiritually aware or, curious. So to make it in kind of more of a practical sense, what it can do is it can really help you with your business. And I found that a lot of business owners who I've done readings for, it's helped them to understand how they work better. So then they can align their business with themselves rather than the business kind of getting ahead of them and them having to catch up to their business. It's a different frame of mind. So rather than that kind of hustle culture that we have, it's about understanding who you are so you can understand how to run your business better. Because if you don't understand who you are as a person, then you're going to build your business on sand. And ultimately, it's only going to be successful for so long, right? So in order for you to have a successful business, you need to know who you are because you are your business. So it can show you, it can highlight for you how you should make your decisions in business. So I speak to a lot of property business owners because I myself have a property business with my partner. So it's really helped me
to make decisions about property, because obviously I'm going to look at the statistics and I'm going to analyze the deal and everything else. But ultimately, I know that I'm an emotional authority. So I need to go with how I feel about the property as well. So after understanding all the analytics, after understanding all the logistics of it and running the numbers, I need to give myself some time to see how I land with that. Give myself at least 24 hours not to make a decision on an emotional high or an emotional low, but when I come to a place of neutral. And my partner, Jamie, who I run the business with, he is the same. He's an emotional authority. So we're not good making decisions in a kind of high pressure or like a, right, we feel really good about this, let's do it now. That's not the way we should make a decision. It should be when we become more neutral about the decision. Also, it's helped me in my business because I know that I'm a manifestor energy type, and manifestors are here to initiate. We're here to get things going, get things started. And it makes a lot of sense to me how I'm the one who always finds the projects because I'm the manifestor. So I start things, but I'm not necessarily meant to, keep going and finish them. But that's what Jamie does because he's a generator. So his energy type is very consistent and he's here to build. And he's a plumber as well. He's in the trades. So it makes a lot of sense. And he tends to manage the renovations in our property. So it's really highlighted a lot with that. Also, as you said, I left a career in teaching for 14 years. So when I left that career, I was kind of like, I don't know where to go now. I feel a bit lost. And so that was a time where human design actually found me, and it helped me understand myself, reconnect with myself again and my identity so that then I could move forward. Because we often find these times in life where we're navigating transitions or, we want to do a career change or, or for example, like something's come up in our life, like the pain of losing like a loved one, for example, and it makes us kind of just question everything. And when that happens, we need a way of coming back to ourselves. And that's what I love about human design, because that's what it does.
Love that. Yeah, no, that's amazing. I feel like I can't wait to get into it because I feel like I'm every kind of coach or therapist or anyone I've spoken to, I always get the feedback. They're like, you're so already, without knowing the terminology or why I know it, I feel like I'm very in tune and very intuitive with especially how I've designed my packages at Manuka Media and what I do with my business. Like there's certain things that I've created, and I'm happy to discuss what those things are, but there's certain things that I've put in place that only I have been able to put in place because it's my personality, and they have been, I've gone against what every other as in like, those people that are coaching online that are like, help you make money online, personal brand coaches, my kind of like competitors in a sense. I've gone against what they all preach because it didn't feel aligned to how I would want to deliver that service to a client. So I've created my own models of how I help my clients because it was within my personality trait. So, yeah, so like I felt like I was very in tune with, okay, that's how to build. If I want to copy Stephen Bartlett or Alex Hormozy, that's how to build that type of agency, right? But doesn't align with my personality. So I'm going to build it like this because it feels more in tune with who I am.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, when I look at your chart, Rosalia, you're talking a lot about intuition and leading with your intuition. Now, for you, your way of making decisions, your authority, is splenic authority. And people with splenic authority are meant to make decisions.
Sorry to interrupt you. Have you watched Love is Blind?
Oh, yeah, I know that the projector Patrick, yeah.
And he was like, oh, my spleen, and he's all like,
I know.
everyone's taking the mickey out of him, and now you're saying that I've got to suppress my spleen. No, no. Okay, right, I'm one of those. I'm gonna be new Pat.
It totally fits with everything you were saying, though, right? It is through intuition. So you are literally meant to make decisions based on your intuition, your spleen. Now, only 31% of the population have this as an authority, most people are emotional authority like me, 51% of the population are. So if you think about it, most of the population, which makes a lot of sense, right, are going through these emotional waves, like up and down all the time. Which is why, so many people are emotional, they're battling, so many things, and then we all rub off on each other, right? So for you, as a splenic authority, you'll actually it's like when you're making a decision over something, it would almost be like a quiet whisper to you, and then you just have to go with it. And actually for you, if you sit on it for too long, it will confuse you.
Yes, this is so true. Yeah.
Can you think of times in your life where that has happened?
Daily, every day. I'm like, no, this doesn't feel right. So we just recently pulled out of a property deal. And oh my God, I remember, I think my husband is the emotional one, that the emotional energy, the authority. And I'm the spleen. What is it? Splenic, right? I can't believe I'm a Patrick. I literally can't believe. Anyway, I can't believe it. This is so funny because he's literally an Instagram sensation, and everyone's taking the mickey out of him. And now I'm like, I've tapped in my spleen. I've got to go out there with that. I've got to do it.
It's a good brand building, though, isn't it? He's done well to build that brand, right?
I'm in this with him. I'm going to be like, Patrick, I am on your side. Oh my God, this is so funny. So I recently pulled out of a property deal because my spleen was telling me this is not right. And what happened? And maybe you can analyze this, that I do try and give people a chance, and I'm there to not be too impulsive, because I've learned that I am quite reactive, because I make quick decisions, because if it's not right, it's not right. If it's right, I'm a hell yes or I'm a hell no. But I've tried to learn that not everyone is like that. And so I've tried to be more accommodating. And I feel like when I've done that, I'm the one that gets let down. So I was working with a property sourcer who, I'm really sensitive about sharing this. So obviously I'm not going to mention names, but, adore the girl, love the girl, have been championing the girl, have been backing her every single step of the way, have been supporting her in any way I can. And, I brought into her to work on this deal with me and my husband. But there was just a lot of little red flags along the way, like mostly to a poor communication and slow at coming back, slow at processing stuff. We're always chasing, and we're not getting that, like. And my husband and I were kind of like putting that down to the fact that I'm a go type of person. And I was like, no, it's just not right. And so, one night there was just like, the straw that broke the camel's back, right? And I was like, we're pulling out. I was like, Matt, we're going to write that email. We have to be. He was like, you're right. He goes, you are right. And he was umming and ahhing for it for a few days. And I was just like, why is he thinking about it? Why is he still thinking about it? I was like, Matt, I can't think. I was like, it's not right. Something's telling me. And we pulled out. And the whole reason we pulled out was our reasoning to that person was bad communication. We can't ever get hold of you. And case in point, we have not had a reply to our pulling. So they disappeared on us entirely. We said that we feel uncomfortable to give this investment a go, because once the bridging is in place and we are on a time ban, and you go disappearing on us, I don't trust that you can deliver this project all the way through. And so for that reason, I wish you all the best, but we're pulling out. And case in point, they have not replied to us, and it's weeks to this day. So yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. We see them around, as in we see them online, but we aren't getting a response. So
The communication is so important, isn't it? But doesn't that just highlight, though, again, like, people think like we should make decisions based on our minds, right? And that's a big thing. But
that they were like, oh, best.
yeah, and obviously that's important. But people always think, oh, you should make decisions based on your mind. But remember, your mind only knows what it knows. Yeah. So it makes its decisions based on things that have happened in the past
and things that have happened around you. And like from a cellular level, you know, like your trauma, your good memories, bad memories, that's how it makes its decisions. So it doesn't necessarily, it can't predict what it doesn't know. So in human design, this is why most people, most authorities are to do with the body. And it's about bringing it back to the body. And your spleen, your intuition was telling you multiple times, this is not right. This is not right. And eventually you went with it and you trusted it. And it looks like it's probably saved you quite a lot of stress and money.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And it's been, and I could see my husband also relaxing once I'd made that decision and I was calling it. I was like, I'm calling it. We're done. I'm not doing this anymore. I can see, and I said, I need my attention and energy to now go towards solutions. I was like, this is keeping me, it's a fake deal, I said, in the sense that you want it to be true, you want it to go ahead, but it's not going anywhere, Matt. I was like, it's not happening. You don't get it. I was like, we have to, and I like to put a definitive thing on something. I don't want to leave it waving around, hanging. I'm like, it's got to be done. Like, if they don't call it, I've got to call it. So yeah, that was my most recent, literally happened as we're recording this. It's literally happened in the last couple of weeks. That was my first gut reaction of, this ain't right.
So this is just further confirmation for you then that, you know, you are right to trust it. And in future, keep trusting it. You don't have to wait on it for too long. In fact, you're better off making your decisions straight away. Now, for your husband, if you're making joint decisions, it might be slightly different because it depends on his authority. But again, like if, for example, he's an emotional authority, you could say, okay, this is my decision. This is what I think. And then go with that because that's your decision. But then give him still the 24 hours to come to his own decision.
Which
And
is what you did.
if it's aligned, then you know, right? So that would be my advice. And I do couples readings as well, FYI. Yeah, I do
Get that look feeling because we're trying to reflect our over our year, and we're trying to plan for 2026.
amazing.
And so yeah, so we're trying to. I always do like a vision board. I don't know if you can see it at the back there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to. And you know what's really interesting? Oh my God. No, hold on, wait. Basically, when I printed the photos, a photo from a collage that I did was missing. So let me just get this right. I believe in like little things like this. Like I feel like
How you're like, I love how you're like, Emma, I'm not really, you know, I avoid people like you.
no, in the same yeah. No,
Like with it, she's bringing out a photo.
yeah. I'm in your world, but I've had to avoid. What I was trying to say is like I didn't know if it would be distracting away from my path, which is like yeah, exactly. Like some of my friends are like, oh, do you want to go to a tarot reading? I'm like, no, because is that actually God? I was like, is that God telling me something? I don't want it to confuse with my gut and my intuition versus someone else telling me something and putting something in my head. That was what I meant. But yeah, I did my vision board and there's a picture missing. And I think that picture was the property. And it's just really weird that, yeah, so property, unfortunately, that was on our list this year and it didn't happen. There's a lot of things that, no, I think this is like going into next year. But so you're saying that my authority is, or is that my energy, the spleen? Or authority is the
No,
spleen?
this is your authority. So
Right.
where you should
So-
make your decisions.
So what's the other categories then? The energy
Yeah.
and...
So we've got energy type. Okay. So your energy type, you're going to laugh again, is a projector.
Okay. Is that, what does that mean?
So you know how you said, yeah, Patrick.
No! Why am I Patrick?
You're not. You're you. You're you.
Yeah, but everyone on social media has been hating on Patrick. What is... Right, so what's the projector?
Ignore it. Ignore. You are you. We don't. Yeah.
So projectors are, do you know what? Interesting enough, I seem to attract a lot of projectors. I have a lot of friends who are projectors, and they're only 20% of the population. So you are the third rarest type. There are 5 energy types in human design. Generators and manifesting generators, they are the most common in human design. They make up around like 35%-ish each. Then you have the projector, which is you, 20%. Then you have me, which is a manifestor, which is about 8 or 9% of the population. And then you have the reflectors, who are 1%.
Wow.
So projectors, they are here. They are our natural leaders, and they are here to guide us. So when you were saying about you and your husband and how you kind of take the leadership role, that's because you're meant to. That is your kind of birthright, as it were. So the projectors are here to really show us and to guide us in this time as to how we can navigate where we are at the moment. And they do this in a way that's it is not meant to be in kind of a forced leadership way. It's the whole point of projectors they are meant to be invited. So, because what can happen is, because you see things from such an interesting perspective, I almost like to describe projectors as though they've got a bird's eye view on the situation. So they can see things that other energy types may not be able to see or miss. But not everybody will be ready for your advice. It won't always be welcomed. You may find times in your life where you may have tried to help somebody, given them advice, but they have shut you down.
Yeah.
And this makes you bitter. This turns you into your not self, which is bitter. And then when that happens, that can really affect your health.
Oh. In what way?
So for example, I've had friends before who have tried to be supportive, tried to help, it's not landed well because they haven't been invited. They felt really bitter, and it's then affected their mental health. They're okay now, but at the time they were really depressed. It can also affect you physically as well, your physical health. So it's something to just be aware of. So the way to kind of play it is to, if somebody is venting to you, for example, you can say, "Would you like my advice on that? Would you like me to say how I see it, how I see the situation?" And then by that way, you're opening up an invitation, and then they will either say yes or no. And then if they have, accepted your invite, sorry, that's my doorbell.
Whoever wants to join.
It's like with Christmas delivery.
Absolutely. I'm getting all my neighbours' parcels, so I'm like the local deso. Yeah, yeah. Because I'm in the shed, the post thing, yeah, I'm like, oh,
Trying to get some work done. So I lost my train of thought now. So
no, so you were saying that you invite someone to have the advice or not. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then that way it will, because they are prepared for it, it will land better for them. And then you will be in your self-theme of success, because it's really important for projectors to feel recognized, to be seen. And you are meant to be, because you are a natural leader, you are a natural guide, but it needs to be done in a way that lands with people and not in a way that is forced.
I feel like the people closest to me will know that they wouldn't call me if, the way I see it is, they've called me for advice, therefore they've already given me permission to, because they know me, and they know they will, if they need the truth, like this is just like part of, I've said this in someone else's podcast, funnily enough, but we weren't talking about human design. Whatever question they asked, my answer was, don't call me if you don't want to know the truth. Like, you will know if you need my advice. My eyebrows don't lie. My eyebrows will move without me even wanting them to move. And you already know, I know what I know what she's going to say about this. So like, my cousin will always talk to me about like anyone she's dating, and she'll tell me about how the date went. I just literally saved my mum from making like a major career move because she told me about like um an interview that she had, and I was like, "Mm-mm, no, no, no." She was like, and I said why I felt like it wasn't right, and she went, "Oh my gosh," she goes, "I couldn't put my finger on it." She goes, "You weren't even there. How do you know?"
You
Um,
can see it from a different
on my, and also I have said, and now that you talk about seeing things from a bird's eye view, I have said to my partner before, like this is like things I understand about myself that I don't know why I understand. So it'll be things like, I've said things like, why has God put this into my head? Like something will come into my head. I'm like, I can't unsee it now. Thank you, Jesus. So now I have to do something with it. So I've always felt like that pressure, or that responsibility to be like, well, great, I now have to deliver it. So, um, and this,
that's interesting as well because again it's coming back to the fact that it's not about dismissing God or anything like that because it's all coming from the same place, right?
yeah,
There is in that when it's coming from source, it just means that you understand it better because you were here to be a leader and a guide. And for me, what you've just said again makes massive sense because you have a defined ajna, which is up here, the same as me. So you will get downloads. You will get inspiration.
brain is programming. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you will get that. And you also have a defined head sensor, again, like me, and you have a channel that connects from your ajna to your head. So you're constantly getting downloads and processing them, which can mean that your head can feel very heavy a lot of the time.
Bruce, you know the movie Bruce Almighty when he's got like in his head. Sometimes I am there that I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can. Um, it's very hard to quieten the mind because there's too many things I can see, um, and I can't unsee them, and I have to deal with it when I see it.
Yeah, I'm the same.
So,
And it's that idea of and also you're able to it's like inspiration just drops very naturally for you. You don't necessarily need to be around because people with an open or undefined ajna, they draw inspiration from other people, places, environments. Obviously we would do that too, but we don't necessarily need to. The inspiration will just naturally drop and the download will naturally drop.
yeah,
But it does mean that you have a very busy mind. I find that meditation works for me or kind of like white noise. Like if I've just got like, like a favorite show on in the background, it's almost like I'm not necessarily watching it, but it's just there to drum out the noise sometimes or doing some meditation or I know like you love exercise. Again, like it gets you more in your body and out of your mind, doesn't it?
yes, yeah. I can't like that for me is better than meditation because lately meditation has felt a bit harder than usual. I am in overdrive and I'm overthinking, and actually, what I'm struggling with meditation is there's certain things that I'm trying to tap into my inner wisdom and it's not coming. Um, and maybe it's because I've now just learned that I shouldn't be structuring a place to try and find the wisdom. I should just wait for it to come because I'm the type of person that it comes naturally rather than, right, I'm going to go meditate on this now and I'm going to spend 10 minutes to try and figure out what to do with this situation. I should just,
You're
it
putting
almost
pressure on yourself.
exactly. So thank you for that. Yeah. Thank you for
And
that.
also a lot of your kind of remember your intuition is coming from here. So it's how you're feeling. So your ideas will come from here, but a lot of kind of like a lot of your magic as well comes from your intuition.
Yes. So I make decisions with my spleen. My personality type, did you say? Is that the category?
Yeah, I was going to talk about your so we talked about your strategy.
All right. So that my strategy is
To be invited.
so I'm the projector. I'm a projector. Right. That's what that's called. Okay. Projector, spleen. So what's the third category?
So the strategy, which is to be invited, as I said,
Oh,
and that will lead you to your themes. So you'll either feel bitter or successful. And this is like your natural compass. So when you're thinking about, because I know that you I watched your podcast, by the way, about the wheel of life. and doing
Oh,
the different
yeah.
areas. I love that. So like when you're thinking about your wheel of life and like your different areas, also as well as like numbering them, you could think about whether you feel successful in that category or do you feel bitter. And then that's kind of a way for you to naturally see how you're feeling about things as well. And you know that if you're feeling bitter, then that's something that you need to change or something needs to be worked on there.
And why are you choosing the word bitter? Is that your choice of words or is that no?
That is the human design for you. For me, my compass is peace or anger. And I found that when I was in education, especially towards the end, there were a lot of things that I felt very angry about because I didn't really agree with the system anymore. And I was annoyed over things like budget cuts and finances and government and all of that kind of stuff. So it really put me in my anger self, and I just didn't want to do it anymore. So I made a change and I left. Um, and now I'm starting to feel, obviously, like, I'm not peaceful every day. That'll be lovely. But I'm starting to feel more peaceful. Like, like for today, for example, I had a lovely slow morning. And then on this podcast, like that bit, if I wouldn't be able to do those things if I'd stayed where I was. But I recognized the fact that something wasn't right. And this was before I knew my human design. And then I changed it. But now knowing human design and reflecting on it, it makes a lot of sense to me. The other thing that really made sense to me was the fact, because I'm a manifester, my energy type it kind of works like a stop start. So I'm either going 110 miles an hour or I'm in my rest cycle. So for me, I'll get like bursts. So what will happen is I'll get the collective will be in need of something. That will then come to me as a download and it will give me an urge to do something. So any urge that I have, so for example, starting this spiritual business, is because it's a collective need. So I will get a burst of energy where I'll be like, right, I'm going to do this. And it will be really strange. Like my friends are like, what is she doing now?
Yeah.
Because I'll be like working till like silly o'clock in the morning. I won't need to eat. I won't really need to sleep. It will just be like, I can just do so many things at once. But then I will get this, and that will be my rest cycle. And it will be like, oh, wow, I just don't want to see anyone. Like, I feel like I'm hungover in bed. I need to eat a lot. I just need to sleep. And that's kind of how I work. But that doesn't necessarily work for the everyday 9 to 5, right? So you can imagine I was constantly burning myself out as a teacher because I'd be doing like 10 hours a day. And you'd have to constantly be on because you're teaching. So you have to be on all the time. And it's not a 9 till 3, like some people think. I'd be there like 7 till 7. Sometimes I'd be taking work home. Sometimes I'd be doing work at the weekend. So I'd be working a lot of hours. I mean, I'm still working a lot of hours now, not in teaching, but I'm building 2 businesses. So at least I'm doing it in a way that I
You can define how you do it. Exactly. And you have to physically be in a place during a certain amount of time.
Yeah. Like this morning, had a slower morning. It was
Yeah.
for you as a projector. Your energy type is you're actually you've got an undefined sacral. So this basically means that you are not built for a 9 to 5. And in fact, you are here to show us how to work smarter, not harder. So you're very good at kind of doing everything very efficiently. So that instead of doing a 9 to 5, you could do what people usually do in 9 to 5, you could do it in like a 10 to 12. And then you're meant to rest. That is kind of how.
Maybe I'm not leaning into that. So what's really spooky about what you said, if I said to you, if you're that type of energy where you described yourself as you're like 100% on or 100% off, would it be true if I said that the way I would describe my energy levels is reliable consistency?
Mm. I would say that may be a little bit of a society's almost influence.
So what should I? Because I think the reason I describe myself as consistency is that how I mean it is, if it's going tough, I keep going. As in, I will plow through. I won't put something down and be like, oh, okay, don't worry about it. I'll come back later. I will, whether I'm up, I still, so like, for example, great real example is people were like, how are you going to celebrate High Rocks that you finished High Rocks? And I'm like, just go back to the gym, eat properly, just do what I always talk about on my content. I always do the boring stuff every single day. How do you build a brand? Post one a day, post here, talk to people, go on stage. I haven't got, and this is something I was talking about with my business and the packages that I offer. I will never sell to you how to get to 7 figures in 3 hours or how to get to 7 figures overnight, because what I teach is not glamorous, is not bougie, it's not trendy. It is the boring daily work. And that's what I stand for, that consistency is better than this glamorous trendsetter that just wants to be fashionable for 5 minutes because it looks cool. I'd rather look boring but do every single. That's why I use the word consistency rather than just going,
Yeah. So you do have a defined root center as well. So the root is all about action and kind of stress and adrenaline. And you've got a channel which connects to your spleen. So it's almost like you'll feel like something needs to be done and then you'll take the action and do it. So I feel like that's probably where that kind of consistency.
It's all about the action.
So it's more in the action rather than anything else. But yeah, you are designed to be super efficient with your energy. Like you don't necessarily need. So it makes sense that you're running your own business, because then you can choose your timings, and you don't necessarily have to have the same time every day or like the same hours every day.
Yeah, and this is where I'm saying perhaps I'm not leaning into that as much, because I do kind of have the same hours every day, because I do like structure and routine. I'm a routine person because I have to schedule my meetings around my clients who do have a 9 to 5 perhaps. And then I've got to go to the gym at a certain time because it's personal training. So you can't just turn up to the gym anytime you like. So I'm a very organized, very militant person when it comes to scheduling. And that's a part of the efficiency, right? Which goes back to, this is how I knew this intuitively, but without putting a label to it, because my best-selling package for clients when they want to work with me is that I do 3 months of content in 1 day. And everyone's like, Roz, how do you do that? I'm like, yeah, I don't know, but I came up with it. And I see lots of other people using it now, copying it, and it's fine. It's great to be copied. But loads of other people are like, oh, I'm doing a bulk content day. I'm like, yeah, I've been doing that. And probably other people have been doing it as well. But I came up with that during the pandemic once the lockdown lifted. And I designed a package which was, property and finance professionals are very busy. They're on site, or they're in the bank, or they're in, they're with their clients. So I can't expect them to create a video a day or, post every single day. So I created a package to be super efficient, where it was like, right, you see me for a day, we're going to get photos, reels, B-roll, all of that, everything done. I'll see you in 3 months' time. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, see you in 3 months. In the meantime, you've got your content ready to go. So that's a package that I designed that is
It's a perfect example, isn't it?
exactly, yeah, this is so cool. Yeah, so this has been super eye-opening for me. And we've massively gone over the allocated time, but I hope you don't mind. I'm really sorry I take it, but I felt like I wanted people to see the full picture of, through me, but for themselves. And I hopefully some people have identified oh my God, that I'm more towards Emma, or I'm more towards Roz, but also there are 5 designs in total. So we haven't even covered which one yours is. So if people want to get their own design done, how can they work with you? Where can they start? What can they do?
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of the human design charts are free online, so you can find out your own. But if you want to, if you want to know it a bit deeper and you want to interpret it a little bit more, it is best to have a reader. So you can find me mainly on Instagram, Emma, your spiritual reader. I'm also on TikTok, and I offer human design readings, and angel card readings as well. And it's on.
Let's book in, Emma. I need to book in, love. Reading.
Okay, we'll sort it out in a bit. Um, but yeah, and with angel card readings as well, it's more about again coming back to you. What I often find with the angel card readings is people have a question. They already know the answer. They just want the confirmation. And so it's a message from, again, source. It's not me, it's source. I'm just the channel. So I'm just giving the message. But a lot of the time when I do the readings, they're like, yeah, no, I did know that. And I just giving it back to them. So that's what I like, because it's kind of like they then trust themselves again.
Love this. I feel like that's been a confirmation for me today, where I knew about like my personality style and my energy type, and I was calling it my gut reaction, where it's obviously my spleen. So I'm gonna go contact Patrick now from Love Is Blind and have a little chin wag with him, because he'll get me. But Emma, honestly, thank you so much for putting me on the spot and really making me feel seen and heard, and really clear on exactly why I do what I do. And this isn't a full consultation. This is actually not even the real thing. So I can't wait to see what a real.
Very quick.
Yeah, yeah, I can't wait to see what we unpack. So everybody, before you make your next business decision, before you make that call, before you make that decision on whether you're going to take that client on board, whether you're going to redesign your package for 2026, whatever you do, put the pen down, put everything down, and yeah, just stop for a second and try and discover, even if it's just a free version for now, but just try and lean into, why do you do what you do? How do you best operate? And then actually accept it. Because how I felt from Emma's explanation, that she does so beautifully, is that you're not broken. You are doing exactly what you're meant to be doing in exactly the right way. Some people have told you you've got a knee-jerk reaction. You're too impulsive. Yes, I am impulsive. That's exactly what I'm meant to be doing. Or some people have said to you, oh, you're a bit slow at decision making. Yes, you're meant to be slow at decision making. That's exactly what you're meant to do. So before you make your next decision, whether in your job, whether you want to leave or not leave, whether you want to stay, where you want to, before you do that, please gift yourself just this moment of clarity to accept and just have enough clarity on how to move forward. And I hope you found this helpful, because I'm going to book in with Emma now, and I will leave it to you guys to reach out and follow her, put everything in the show notes. So thank you for tuning in once again. Remember to follow, yada, yada, yada. Come along to the next show. We release a show every week. And if there's a show that you particularly want to hear about that we haven't touched on yet, if there's a particular topic, please make your requests either in the comments or send us a DM. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much, Emma. You've been
Thank you so much. Oh, thank you for having me. I've really enjoyed it.